Hello. Welcome to your makeup tutorial. If you haven't already, pause and wash your face and moisturize. I just washed my face and I'm gonna moisturize. So I'm using my moisturizer. I'm not sure if you have one or anything like that, but you can use like a light moisturizer. Just be wary that you don't put too much on your face, because sometimes mixing in products or anything like that will make your face peel. And what I mean by peel, your makeup will start flaking off. So this was a good test run of whatever moisturizer you have or anything like that to put on your face. It can be gel, aloe vera, worked very well too. Anything like that, just don't put too much on your face. All right. And then so I just hydrated my face. Make sure you get in the inner corner of your eyes, any dry spots you may have. So if you see, I'm like targeting up here because this is where I have most of my dryness, around my nose, around my eyes. And then let me see. I'm taking out my makeup bag. So then I personally like to put a primer on my face. So what we're going to do is just the Hydro Grip and Refresh Spray. I love it. So we're going to put that all over your face. Make sure it is all dried down before you start doing anything. I don't remember if you got the blur stick. If you didn't, it's totally okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a nose. Any area that I want it to look like super blurry, it's going on those areas. It's super tacky, so be wary about that. If you don't have this, ignore this. I just don't remember if we bought this or not, so I'm sorry. Okay. Can I get this back on? All right. So now we are going to go into concealer. That's personally what I like to do first. If you like to do brows first, you can. So I'm gonna have my eyebrows out and get out the e.l.f. Camo Sponge for this. You can get it wet if you prefer. I honestly sometimes do not prefer that it's wet, just because it picks up a lot of product, and personally it just doesn't work for me. Sorry, I just took my makeup bag out of my car. So I have my Kosas. I believe that you have yours, right? So then what we're going to do is, depending on how your under eyes work, so if you see mine go down really dark right here and then light in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and I'm going to do this and then go up here. And I usually just dot here and just get any blemishes you think need to be covered, because I have a couple right now. And then you're just gonna do the same on the other side and then pull this up this way right here, the concealer, just so you have that lift. I'm trying to see if I have anything else going on. I got this guy. I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy at all. Got some shit up here going on right now. So then after that, grab your little handy dandy sponge. I have a new one. Should I use my new one? I'm gonna use my new one for this tutorial. And then you're just gonna pat that in. Make sure you're working down your nose like this as well, so you're blending out that product. And then you're gonna pull that like over here, and then any excess you have you're gonna bring into this area over here. I don't like my upper eyes to be too heavy, because it does start to give you lines, and I do have very, very liney eyes, and I got a lot of lid, so, and you can already tell the difference. So same thing on this side. Put that in, start pouncing it in, little movements, and then going down your nose, and then connecting here, and then bringing it up, and then doing all of it right here. Make sure everything is good. The sponge is so good. I love this sponge. And then go for the other concealed areas that you have right now. So don't worry about it. You're going to put foundation over it, but if you can already see how much it's already covered. So then go back into these areas here. All right, perfect. So I'm going to let this sit here for a while. Just be wary that it will start creasing. So you have to go in again and put more in before you put powder on and set it, because that once you set it with powder, it's done. It's not moving. Okay. So now we're going to do my eyebrows. So personally, I'm not sure how you do your eyebrows, but I think you went out and bought an e.l.f. pencil, eyebrow pencil. So you're going to get the spoolie, obviously, brush everything out. I kind of forgot a spot here. You're going to brush everything out. Make sure your brow is doing what it needs to do. Unfortunately, I have the disadvantage of having my eyebrows tattooed, so I'm sorry. So usually what I do when I was doing my eyebrows is you kind of go into make sure the best places to have your eyebrow defined and to make a good look is this area right here, up here, down here, I mean, and then right here. And those are the major places you need to have defined. So what we're going to do is go into this area right here and then pull and make sure this color is even. You don't want it too dark either. And then fill up here. Make sure that curve is looking okay. Go down here, fill this in just a tiny bit. Get your spoolie and disperse the color. And then you're going to go here. And if you see, like I like starting at the bottom, and then you kind of do feather-like movements and move it upward like this. And then you're going to get the spoolie and kind of brush that out, and then go to the top here. And then right here, I don't like this. And then go away. Like not go away, but like back up. And then check everything out, seeing if it's to your standards. If there's some spots like right here for me that you feel like are sparse, and you go back in and fill. Right here, I don't like the spot. There you go. Eyebrow done. What you can also do is, I don't really do this anymore because I don't have to, is you get like a little flat brush like this. Let me grab one. So a flat brush, you get your concealer. I have concealer already on this. You get your concealer, you get a little bit. Clean this brush off a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm ill prepared. You get a little bit of your concealer. Go like this. And then you carve out your brows. To make sure they're like super sharp. And go down here. Make sure this is all good. Clean that up. You can also go up here and clean it up too. So then I grab the other side. So I usually put product on one side so I can use the other side of the brush, and you start blending out and you start moving it down. And you tap it in. Yeah? Thank you. And I'm just taking some of that excess concealer and I'm going back on some of these spots that we don't waste in this house. So, and then done with that one. We're going to do the other one. I'm just going to do this one a little bit faster. So we just go in, and get that pencil out and start bringing it down. Some people like to do their eyebrows after foundation. I don't, because I don't put on that much foundation, so I don't necessarily have to, and I don't think that's what you're going for either. So brush it out, check it out, and then pull it upwards. Brush it out, look at it. I need more attention over here in this area, just because how they were tattooed. Brush it out. That looks decent. Then get your concealer again. And then I'm double checking which side I use. I use this side. And then do the same. You carve out your brow. Just my eyebrows, two different shapes. That's fun. All right, and then you're gonna take that other side and start blending that out downwards. If you have excess product, start moving it kind of to the right, the way your brush moved with it, and then go downwards. Okay, and so that portion is done. And so you're gonna see that your under eyes have now creased. Don't worry about that right now. We're gonna go back to that later. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your foundation, and you can put it directly on your face or directly on your hand. It's up to you. I'm gonna do it directly on my hand just for today's, just so you know, placement. And so I'm gonna grab my sponge. Again, you can wet your sponge if you want to. I personally don't wet my sponge, but that's up to you. And I personally go here, here, here. I do one dot here. I do here, here. And then excess I put down here because you want to blend. I might need a little bit more, like a dot. And then I put 2 dots down here because, and then just a tiny bit right there. And so then you're gonna start blending. And when you're blending, make sure you're doing small movements. Don't drag your makeup because it's gonna show. Just like in painting, when you're doing stippling or when you're doing brush strokes, you're gonna see brush strokes. When you're doing stippling, you're gonna see it in one spot. So imagine it that way. And then I'm gonna get the excess and put it over here in this area just because I have this vein. And you see how that covered that. I love this foundation. It's the lightest, it's the best. So then make sure you get into these areas here. I'm still not liking this pimple. So I'm gonna probably go back with concealer in a second and cover that actually a little bit heavily. Also, make sure if you need to do any shaving of upper lip or anything, if that's something that you're gonna do, don't be me, because I forgot and I just saw it. So make sure your neck is blended, because that is the most important thing, especially even if your foundation is a shade lighter or dark. It is best to just move it down your neck, so then it just is seamless. Go back to this concealer. Okay. And then when you look at your eyes and you're like, okay, like I still think I need more attention, you can absolutely do it, because you have not set this yet. So I see that this area in my eye is still looking a little too dark for me. So I'm gonna go back with this guy. And if not, then blend again. What you're gonna do, especially, make sure you're blending like this. Again, small movements only. My under eyes are bagging today, so I'm sorry. Going around. Make sure my nose is okay. Make sure this area is okay. And if there's areas on your face that you want more attention, just look at your face and be like, okay, like I feel like this right here, it needs more attention. Okay. So now that we've done that, you have a choice to set your face, set your under eyes, especially if you're going to do any eye products. I personally like to set my under eyes before. So what we're going to do is you have your powder. I have loose as well, but I believe that you only have like a stable powder like that. So what I'm going to do is get like a flattish brush, or more like a fluffy brush. I like this cat's paw brush. I don't think that's going to work. So personally, I like a little dense brush like this. This one's by Morphe. It's a part of their Old Elite collection. So what you're going to do is get product, spin your brush around so you can like really loosen that up. See, look how much just came out. You need that much. And what you're going to do is make sure your under eyes are not, because I just saw that mine right here on the side is still kind of doing it. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to move upwards. Upwards to set it. And then I'm going to set this area right here where I have kind of like a problem area here a little bit. Just be careful, because I just made a mistake, and if you can see, like it's like caking right here. So I'm actually going to wipe that off a little bit, but there we go. Okay, I fixed that. So actually don't do that. Don't put the powder right there right now. Okay, and then those are set. So what you're going to do next is you can do your eyes. I personally like to do my eyes before I do all this over here. So we're going to get a couple of brushes. I'm not sure what you have on hand, but the biggest things you need are kind of 3 different brushes of these different sizes. So if you can see, this one's a little bit more flat. This one's a little bit more kind of rounded, like oval shaped long. And then this one's kind of like flat and then a little fat. If you have anything at least similar, try to do that. So you kind of wanted to do a like brown eye. So let's see what I have. So I'm going to use my Juvia's Place and then this one right here. So I'm going to use my Juvia's Place. You've seen it before. You have a very similar one, I believe. So what I'm going to do is, what you need to start to do is you need to kind of set it. So I'm going to use this peachy color because it's very similar to my eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of this guy right here. Make sure you tap off excess and kind of go in and start building like on top of your lid. Go in here, all that. All right. And then I know that you kind of want like a brown, like almost like smoky eye, but not really, but like more so like in this area here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brown color like this one. We need 3 different brown colors. We need a light, a darker, and then a darker. So I'm going to first start with the lighter that I'm going to use, which is this one. And we're going to go in with this brush here. And then we're going to kind of like start in this area here and then move down. And then you got to do like a fan motion. I like to have my lid slightly closed and slightly opened. And focus some of that right in here. If you need to get more, and if you want more, you can always get more, which I'm doing right now, right here in this area. Closing my lid because I couldn't access it. And that's the start of that. I'm going to get my bigger brush right now, and I just kind of want to diffuse it a little bit more right in here because I wasn't a fan of that part. But see, okay. I'm going to grab a little bit of it, of this brush, and I'm going to bring it a little bit down here. And then pull it with that. All right, see, we're starting somewhere. My palette almost full. Okay. Same thing on the other side, repeat. Very fun. Almost windshield wiper motions. Do a little bit more. Kind of focus it in this area here. Tinier windshield wiper motions, not super tough on the eye. All right. Get a little bit just like I did on the other side and add this in. Windshield wiper motions, of course. All right, and that's the start of the base. And then we need a darker brown. You can absolutely use contour for this too. So I'm going to get, that's very similar already, a contour shade I have and darken it even more. So this is a contour shade I have, this brown right here. And I'm gonna, sorry, I didn't see it, this brown right here. And I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna deepen this part of my eye. So we're gonna go in lightly. If you can see, same type of motion. I'm doing small circular motions. Bring it down here again, just a tiny bit just to connect it. Small circular motions. And then I'm just gonna use my little bigger brush to diffuse it around here, just because personally that's what I like to do. Then get that brown shade again, tap off excess, and go into this corner again. Then connect it again. I want a little darker, so I'm gonna add a little bit more directly in this area. Connect this part. See, okay, so it's adding more dimension into your eye. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side with the same color. Adding more dimension. This video is now 30 minutes long. I am so sorry, and we're not close to done. Adding more dimension. Connecting it right here. See, like, I like to diffuse it with the bigger brush because it just, like, looks better. So I'm going to diffuse it with the bigger brush right here. See if everything matches up properly. Okay, we're good. And then just a tiny bit in here, just the leftover. And then we're going to go to the really dark brown. So I have a darker brown like this. I believe you might have something like that on you. You can even use the eyeliner, the eyebrow pencil for this too. Just like a tiny bit, but like really, really like work it in. So I'm going to use that. And I'm actually going to go with this smaller brush that I showed in the beginning. And then tap off excess because this color is very, very, very dark. Okay, and you're just gonna go into that area again, but if you see that I'm working it more towards the outer corner of the eye, just kind of, so I'm using this to pack the product in. I'm not necessarily using it to blend the product in. So I'm just adding a little bit more in the same area. And then I'm actually going to go back to that first brush and then we're going to work it out. If you see up here, I'm gonna add a little bit more actually on this brush itself and kind of work that in up in here. It's a little too much orange up in there right now. There we go. So yeah, the idea is to work from lightest to darkest and then glitter. So then, yeah, if you can see the difference. And then we're going to do this. I'm going to start blending this out. Small circular motions. Windshield wiping as well. Then I'm gonna get that big brush and kind of just work it all out. Let's see, like this part, I need to go back in here because you can see there's some spots in here that are not very favorable. So we're gonna, it's actually right here in this corner. All right. Okay. I'm actually gonna blend this a little bit more over here. Yeah, see, stopping, taking a step back, and then looking at it is the best thing you can do. And then you're going to take that flat brush like I did packing on that brown. You're actually gonna take a little bit of the brown and you're gonna put it right here. Kind of line your under eye with it. Give you more dimension under your lashes and makes them look like they are fuller. So this one's just a little too much compared to the other side, so we're gonna blend it out with the brush itself. All right. And the next thing we're gonna do is eyeliner. I like to do my eyeliner before I do my mascara. Sometimes, depending on the look, I actually do my mascara before my eyeliner to make it look smaller and just to know not to go past the lash line, because, you know, sometimes you do that. So you have an eyeliner, and depending on the shape that you like, you can absolutely do whatever you like. What I like to do is sometimes I like to pull it upward so it makes it give you a more of a cat eye look, or I follow my natural line. So like that. And then we're going to connect it down here. And then connect it. And then you're going to fill it in. I like to blow like this, so make sure it doesn't pull when I open my eye. If you need to pause, absolutely pause. I do it very, very fast. And I don't like how that's not as connected as I'd like it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it just a little bit more. Like, see, when I close my eyes, not a fan of that. So we're going to just connect it a tiny bit more. See, that's better. You want it to be more, so it was kind of more of a triangle than like a full connected line. And if you see how much it pulls up with that, I'm gonna add a tiny bit right here though. That's eyeliner. Same thing on the inside, the second side. Sometimes it's really hard to, I did this very well, unfortunately. I'm sorry. It's hard to make them both look the same, so I'm gonna hope that I'm doing that right now. I'm usually really bad at doing my eyeliner and talking, so this is very surprising. So let me see, I did it kind of near the corner. Okay. We're in the same realm. Okay, cool. And then you're going to connect it here. Where the shapes APC, same thing here. I'm going to have to connect that there. Fill it in. You see I kind of have that bump there, gonna fix that, but we're in the same vicinity, which is great. Sometimes it's not in the same vicinity, so yep, I went a little bit longer on this one, so I'm gonna correct that and make this one just a tiny bit longer. All right, and if you can see, I did remember lowering this one just a tiny bit. I'm gonna do that in a second as well. But first, I'm gonna fix this inner corner here. And then I'm going to polish it up in here and connect it a little better. All right, and then if you saw before, I'm just gonna add a tiny bit down here. There we go. Fixing this line. You see, like, there's some chunky spots on there. We're gonna fix that. There we go. Eyeliner. Let me see, my phone's at 7%. Sorry, I'm gonna put a charger on my phone. I'm just gonna move you a little bit to this way. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's gonna work. Okay, it should work. Light moving. Okay, and so now we are going to do our mascara. Whatever you have. I believe that we got the e.l.f. one. I have the Air Volume, or not the e.l.f. one, I think the Essence one. I have the Air Volume one by Revlon. I've been liking that one, but the one I think we got was pretty good as well. And then I need to fix this. So if you can see like little things like that, you can obviously go in later and fix it, which I am. And don't do what I just did and pull your under eye. Grab a sponge if you need to. All right, and then if you get any up here, don't worry about it. You can use a spoolie from your eyebrow pencil to get it off without wetting your face. All right, and then don't forget your bottom lashes. I'm not sure if you're putting on false lashes, if you are or if you're not. Kind of getting all my lashes. You see, I just got that up there, but I'll show you how to get rid of that. And we're gonna do the other side. The fun thing is we haven't even gotten into contouring yet. All right, I kind of did that backwards. I started on my bottom. Don't do that. I'm proceeding to pull my eye. Please don't do this. It gives you on-scent wrinkles. Don't do that. Okay, and then I'm just gonna wipe my finger off really quick. I'm gonna probably go back and put more mascara on. But this is so far. where we're at. And next thing we're going to do is this area up in here. So later, if you do want to add glitter, that is up to you. You can add some glitter into your corner eye, which we can do later. I would prefer you do like probably like a goldish color. So yeah, so you're going to get the angled brush. Let me find my angled brush, wherever it's at. That's a blush brush. That's another blush brush. Here we go. Here's my angled brush. This is what I'm going to be using. And then you most likely have your contour powder. So you're going to have this. So for contouring, it's a little bit different for everyone. So we're sucking your face like this and try to find your cheekbone. Personally, I like to put it up a little bit higher than this opening right here, because it'll pull your face up. I also don't like to do streaking motion. I like to pat it in just so it looks a little bit better, and then I do only a couple of like the streaking motions. Also, you're gonna need a smaller brush to do your nose as well. We're just gonna do a simple contour. It's not gonna be anything crazy. It's just directing kind of right here in this area, putting a line here, and then doing 2 lines here going into here, so it makes your nose a little bit more defined. But we're gonna start, and I'm using a NARS one, like that's one of my favorite ones, and then kind of go up in here and start blending that out. Starting up in here, just so the least product is up here. And then you're gonna go up here just a tiny bit, not too much. Pat that in. Pat the least amount up here possible. Like that. Then just like very minimal streaking motion. And then same thing on this other side. Suck in if you have to. And then I kind of go up here and then move down. I haven't done my makeup like this in a very long time. So doing the same type of motion. It's a little bit darker on the other side. All right, and if you want to contour down here, this is when you would do it as well with this brush. So this area right here, you're gonna kind of go like this and move it down. Like this, super light motion, super light feathering motions, like that. Gonna give you more definition in you. So if you see more definition in your jawline, and then you're gonna pull it down as well this way, just because you do not want a harsh line. Then again, here, kind of coming at that line that you have, the natural line of your jaw. Light feathering motions, and then again pull down because you don't want a harsh line. Also double check if you need to, like this, to see. Okay, and then let me try to add more light in here. I feel like it's a little dark, I'm sorry. Okay, so now you're gonna get a smaller brush. It can be a eyeshadow brush. If you see there's blue on this, I'm gonna take it off. This eyeshadow brush here. Okay, that should be okay. So you're gonna get your contour powder. You're gonna get a little bit on a brush. you're going to go down your nose on the side like this to start defining it. And if you see, and then you're going to do a line over your nose like this in this area. And then you are going to do the same thing on this side, another line. Then you're going to actually bring a little, you're going to add a little bit up in here, if you're seeing, and then a tiny, tiny bit up in here. Okay, and then you're going to add a tiny bit here, tiny bit here. Tiny bit down here, tiny bit down here, tiny bit right here, just so you still have this area here. A lot of people do this with cream. I'm not a cream person, so I don't. So then if you see right here, you're gonna connect this a little better, and then connect this guy a little better. Do these little motions right here. So you need a spot here. I'm actually gonna make this a little bit more even right here. All right. And then making sure that there's not a ton of product on this left. You're just gonna kind of blend it all out, just like with the eyeshadow. So you're going to, there's no blue on here. This blue is like making me nervous. So then you're just gonna kind of go and blend it down. Blend it down your nose. Light feathering motions again. Blend this as well. Blend this as well. Kind of pull that. Make sure you're blending this. This, you can kind of still do like those windshield wiper motions up here. Still pull. Make sure you're looking at the side of your nose and there's no harsh lines. Sorry, my nose is running. Kind of do the same here. Make sure this line's diffused pretty well. Diffuse this line as well. I'm gonna diffuse this a little up in here a little more. All right, and that's how you can contour your nose. If you still feel like it's a little too harsh, grab your concealer sponge and kind of tap too, because that will also help with any excess product. Also, I really hate this. And now you can grab some of your powder if you want to cut this area. Personally, you can do it before your blush if you want to, or after. So I'm going to show you after. So you're going to grab any blush that you may have. I know that you want one without me. I'm doing this Kat Von D one. That's a double-sided one. I have like 3 of them. And kind of go for the apples of your cheeks, like up in here. I like to put a tiny bit on my nose, like this, just so everything matches up. All right, so then you're gonna get your powder that you had before. My makeup deck is now a mess. It's right here. And then you're gonna, again, circular motions, tap off any excess, and you're going to cut this area and make it a little bit sharper. And brush, circular motions, very tiny circular motions, and then cut this area so it's a little cleaner. Again, very tiny circular motions. And bring it a little bit more down here, make sure all this is diffused. clean up this area again. Going back in with my eyeliner and fixing the area that we spoke about before. This guy right here. Matching it up as best as possible. And then remember, I got mascara up here. You get your spoolie. Lightly go down to your skin. It's gone for the most part. There you go. And all right, now we are going to line our lips. So there's two different ways you can line your lips. Personally, what I like to do, if your lips are dry, hydrate them right now. I thought I have a lip liner with me. I think it's in my bag, but it's okay. Like this many. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a natural lip liner. So I'm going to do one of my favorites, which is this one by Lime Crime. So I need a sharpener. Where is my sharpener? I thought I brought it with me. I guess I didn't. Oh, there it is. And sharpen your pencil. Make sure she has a tip to it. And so the way that you can naturally line your lips. Okay, so if you want to feel with your finger with me really quick, you're going to feel this area right here, right? And starting here at the end, and then you're going to feel it go up, and you kind of feel like there's that extra excess area here that is your lip, but is not colored like your lip, which you can kind of like do like a magic trick and make people think your lips are bigger than what they are. So what you're going to do is start here and fill it in. And then if you see like that little natural area up there, I'm going to overline with it like that. And then connect it a little bit more. All right. So if you can see, I went with that natural part of my lip and I covered it. And you'll do the same for the side. And then you're gonna go with that natural line right here. And then you're gonna start going upward a little bit right here in the middle. You don't have to go too big right away, you can build it up. And now if you can see, I have two different lips like shapes. So we're gonna even that out right here. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is, personally, I like to start right here at the bottom. Right here. And then do that. And do that. So if you can see, I kind of did overline right here, but I'm still close to my lip. You also have this bottom area. No one's ever gonna see no one really ever sees this area, but you see if I followed the shadow of my lip, and you see how much extra I kind of used. Sorry, my lip's splitting. Right here. And then you go in here and you kind of add everything together. Okay, and if you see, I just kind of went back in and fixed some areas that I personally wasn't a fan of. So you said you wanted kind of a glossy lip, but I'm going to do my regular color. I'm trying to see if I have any of the NYX. I can't really put the other NYX one on my lips because they're dry and it's going to get into my wounds and it's going to burn. So, but for that one, it'd be the same process, but you just put the gloss on top. So I'm doing my favorite one, Strip Down, the one we talked about, the one we saw that didn't unfortunately match you, and then putting it on my lips and then going over those areas. Okay, let's see how that looks. Sorry, I'm taking off the charger. So far. And then, after that, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this handy dandy guy. And I'm going to let this dry down just a little bit more. But then we're just going to spray. And then from there, if you have any highlighter, you can put it on the tip of your nose, above your lip, above your brow, in this area, in the inner corner of your eye. And then before that, we're actually going to get a little bit of the powder that you have. This is a trick that I learned. And you're going to put it on a sponge or anything like that. And you're just going to press it in. And it's going to make that area look a little bit more seamless and more like doll-like. And it's going to look amazing in pictures. For me, like, I like blush. So sometimes I add like 2 blushes on top of it. And I might add another one right here. Like, this is like more of a mauvey pink one. Because I'm going to use the Rihanna Trophy Wife. I think it's very gold. It's very shiny. So, now that's dried down a little bit. We're going to go in. While your face is still wet, we're going to do our highlighting. So, I'm going to get another brush. And I'm going to do this. Get a little bit of this gold and then kind of put it on the tip of my nose. Diffuse it because it is very, very gold. And then kind of work it down. Do a little bit of this right here. I'm going to work that in. Put it in my inner corner. You can also use the eyeshadow in that one palette as your highlighter, by the way. And put some under my eyebrow. This is like very like ethereal, like gold. And we're gonna go right here. And then go under here. And this one is a little, I'm gonna diffuse it up in here a little bit. Okay. And then you'll see kind of where I did that. And then now what we're going to do is like how I said with the powder, wherever I put it. Okay, it's right here. Get this powder, get a tiny bit, and you're going to press it in here. Just a tiny bit because I know that we did stuff on our under eyes. And then you can see the difference. Like how much more airbrush this looks compared to this. And then you're going to do the same here. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Not too much. Just in this area. And just a tiny bit up here. I don't know if I like this gold on me right now. Trying to think what else I missed. That's pretty much it. This is an entire hour, but hopefully that helped. Yeah, and then after that, I would put on false lashes. Just make sure you cut them. You don't have to use a full false lash either, So these are like some false lashes I have, and you can literally cut this in half and just use the ends to kind of pull this area. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. It's the first one I've ever done, so let me know if you have any questions.